just going to quickly show you how I do it. So I haven't touched this guy since I laid it on the floor. The first day I trapped it here, probably about 4 or 5 days ago. What I'm going to do first is brush it out. You want the fur to lay as nice as possible when it's when you put it on the board here. So if you don't brush it out at this stage, or at least before you put it on the board, the hair follicles are going to kind of just sit where they are, and you'll end up with this ugly looking dried hide like this. So easiest thing to do, give it a quick brush right now. Get your hair laying nice and flat, not matted up at all. And this will also help if it's still damp or moist underneath. It'll help dry it out a lot faster too. So there's a little bit of mud and sand in his nose, but so that's that. For skinning, I like just a standard skinning knife. I use Zeph a lot. This blade I kind of screwed up earlier today. I started sharpening at the wrong angle. So you might see me sharpen it 2 or 3 times here while we're skinning. I have a cheap, I believe these are caribou knives. I use these mainly for anywhere I'm going to be going near bone at all. So that way I'm not dulling that better quality knife over there. So I've got a knife here. I tend to use these more when I'm rough skinning and that sort of thing, or if I'm not worried about hitting the caster at all. And this is going to be opening for going down the belly. And then lastly, I have this, it's a chunk of moose scapula that I got from a friend and a guy that did a lot of beavers back in the day. Used to make these. And I'm going to show you what this is for. Basically it's for when you flip these flaps over, that first little spot along the edges where it's really easy to cut with the knife. I can clean it up a lot faster than this. There's no chance of going through the side of the hide. So that's why we're using this. And I can see a bite mark right here, so we're going to probably have a hole in the hide. Yeah, we have a hole in the hide. I can see it already. So that's a fresh bite. But yeah. So usually when I start, I take the legs off first. I take the tail off. Some people like leave it on for a handle. I think it gets in the way. So for taking the legs off, you can either ring right around them, or you do your first cut. I'll show you on this other leg. Just do your first cut, so you open it up, then you expose the meat, and then go under and around, and you'll notice I'm turning the blade away from the bone, and just up through the hide. And that way you're not making this knife any more dull than you need to. Tail, you'll slice basically along the base of it, and then poke down on one side, poke down on the other, and you're just cutting out. You'll be left with that. You just cut across quick, spin it, and the tail comes off. And same thing with this front foot. Again, you're just going to open up the top and then go around. And go around on the other side. Spin the foot. Once your 2 bones are broken in there, you just cut the tendon out. So, if you're not comfortable with using this, and I've only done a few today with that this year, I'm just gonna, for this video, I'll go up and around the anus, just so I don't puncture that caster, because it's really easy to do with that knife. And just go gently underneath the skin. If you dive down here, you're gonna go straight into the caster. So lift your skin up. And you can see it's just underneath the leather. It's not deep. Pull, and you've exposed it, so your casters are right here. Now you can use this other knife without any fear of catching those casters, because again, When the market's good for castor, that's better money than the hide ever will be. So you're going straight up the middle of the body, all the way to the chin. You can see it's open the whole way down. And these hides are skinned open. You can't see the rings on the boards because I do too many beavers on here. But you can see this is the pattern that it's going to end up being. So I've got a few on boards here I can show you. They'll end up looking like this when they're done. So but once you've got this open, you're going to take your knife and just clean up around here. I'm not a very good rough skinner. I tend to clean skin everything, so I'm already going cleaner than most people would if they're rough skinning. But you can just, you don't have to get every ounce of fat off there if you're rough skinning. You can just slice through this really quick because you'll end up taking it off on the beam anyway, or however you're going to flesh. I can show a few different ways of doing it. And just cut underneath that tail. You can either take the casters out now or later. I'm going to do them later, but same thing up here. You're just going to start this really quick. It is easier if you clean the face off right now while you still have tension on it, but you need a good sharp knife to do it. Same thing on that side. Really watch when you cross over though that you're not going to cut your finger. I did that a few times when I was younger, and it makes for some pretty nasty scars. So and then around the snout. You really have to watch with the nipples right here, especially when they're coming into breeding season. There's another nipple somewhere around here too. If you catch them with the knife, you will open them up. So go around the eyes, and then the ears is a big one. There's a little bone that sticks down out of the ear, and if you're too close to the skull, you'll end up hitting it, and your knife will go dull right away. So you can either use a different knife for it, or just be skin as close as you can to the leather when you're going past the ear, and you'll go down underneath that bone. So this is where that moose scapula comes in, and you don't have to do this. You can take your knife and keep clean skinning, but if you touch it with if you touch the leather with your knife, probably gonna put a hole in it. This here, you can use a putty knife to do it too. Just put some electrical tape on it so it doesn't dig into your hand. I lost it. But usually I can go right down without losing. I'll try doing that on the other side. And there's that bite hole I was talking about. So like I was saying, you get this whole side open without ever having to put a knife to it. So that's kind of nice. Just take your knife, put it through the front arm, make a small little hole like that, push it through. Then you can take your thumb and work it around the bone, or you can skin through with the knife. But again, if you can get away with not using the knife at all, I would recommend doing that. And now you're basically gonna just cut on the outside of the ribs and the outside of the bones, leaving all your meat on. And again, this is rough skinning. This isn't clean skinning at all. you're clean skinning, you're going along the leather. And I mean, it kills me to do this right now because I've been clean skinning so many. I really can't stand the flesh anymore. It's just extra work you don't need to do. So, if you're good at sharpening knives and you get comfortable with using them, I would definitely recommend clean skinning. So we're going to do the same thing on this other side. No, this one wanted to come apart. So So that's a nice, there's one spot missed here, but that'll be quick and easy to fix later. So just skin, so there's a hole there. Gonna clean up around that leg. That's a rough skinned hide, and you can see how much meat's left on here. So the really delicate parts, like I was saying, along the sides here, that's already fleshed out. You don't have to hit it with a fleshing knife, you don't have to hit it with a skinning knife again. So what we'd end up doing is putting this on a beam over there, and you might remember if you've seen my other videos, I have two different fleshing knives. I have a soft dull fleshing knife, and then I've got this hard steel with a sharp blade on it. So this is the one that I would use for beavers and otters, that sort of thing. Skunks, raccoon, coyotes, fox, most of the other stuff, fisher and that sort of thing, even mink, I use the soft one for. The only time you'd use this on raccoon or skunk is that gristle right between the shoulders. So that'll be another video I show though for the fleshing. Just try and keep this short and sweet.
Yeah, we're just trying to